Once upon a time in the country of Mali, there was a young man who loved two things above all else in life: his family and dancing. This young man was named Musa, and he was known throughout the village for his incredible talent. In fact, his feet never stopped moving. That's because when Musa was born, the midwife noticed something strange. As soon as he was born, he began dancing. She placed him on the ground and he took a step. Then she lifted him up and he did a back. So she placed him down again and he started dancing like someone who had been dancing his entire life. Of course, this wasn't actually the case. He was just born that way. And though at first it was quite frightening, seeing as he could dance, his mother was overjoyed. You see, in their culture, it was believed that people who were born dancing were blessed by the gods. And so Musa grew up believing that his never-ending feet were a blessing. However, one day, while he was practicing a new move, he accidentally kicked over his little sister's doll and broke it. "I'm sorry," he said to her. "It's okay," she replied. "But please be more careful next time." And Musa promised that he would. But shortly after, he ended up breaking her other doll too. So his sister got very upset and shouted, "Stop moving your feet. You're just making me angry." "You may think that it's a blessing," his father said to him one day, "but everything has its pros and cons. And the truth is, without your feet, you wouldn't be able to do anything." And Musa knew his father was right. One day, while walking through the forest, Musa heard some men shouting and arguing. So he hid behind a tree to see what was going on. These men were from a neighboring village, and they were saying, "If we don't do something about the drought soon, our crops will die and our children will starve. I say we attack the village of Mali," one of them suggested. "They have plenty of food and water. We just need to take it." "That's a terrible idea," another replied. "The men of Mali are fierce warriors. If they catch us stealing their cattle, we'll be lucky if we get away with our lives." But the first man pulled out a knife and said, "Then I guess we'll just have to steal their women instead. They won't be able to protect themselves." And the others thought this was a great idea. When Musa heard this, he ran home as fast as he could and told everyone what he had seen. But no one believed him. "Why would you lie to us?" his father asked. "Those men would never dare attack us." But Musa insisted that they were coming, and soon enough they arrived. The men charged into the village, stealing all of their food and burning their homes. And although the villagers tried fighting back, they were outnumbered and outmatched. Just as the men were about to take their women, though, the ground began rumbling. The men stopped what they were doing and turned around to see a giant made of rock rising from the ground. It roared and stomped its feet, causing the men to flee in terror. After it was all over, Musa's father approached the giant and said, "Thank you for protecting us. Great one." "You're welcome," the giant replied. "But why didn't you call me soon? I could have stopped them from taking your stuff too." "We didn't know how to wake you," his father admitted. "We need to perform an ancient dance in order to do that, but it requires someone who is born dancing." And as the giant looked down at Musa, he finally realized who they meant. "So you're the one who's been dancing your whole life," he said. "Yes," Musa replied. "Good," the giant said. "Now dance for me." And so Musa began dancing, shuffling from foot to foot, leaping through the air, and spinning around faster and faster until the giant let out a mighty roar and disappeared back into the ground. From that day on, Musa was no longer ashamed of his dancing feet. In fact, he was quite proud of them, knowing that they were a blessing, not just for him, but for his entire village. One day, though, much to his horror, he woke up and his feet wouldn't move. "I have to practice my steps every morning," he thought, "or else I'll forget them." But no matter how hard he tried, he couldn't get his feet to move at all. "What's wrong with me?" he cried out. Just then, his mother walked in and asked, "What's going on?" "I can't dance," he replied. "Your feet aren't moving." His mother examined his feet and said, "This must be the curse." "What curse?" Musa asked. "The curse of the never-ending feet," she explained. "Every 10 years, the blessing goes away for 3 days. If you don't dance during that time, the blessing will never come back. Musa's eyes widened in horror. So I only have 3 days to find a way to make my feet move again, or I'll never be able to dance again, he said. And so Musa spent the first day trying everything he could think of to make his feet move. He drank special herbs, he meditated, and he even tried putting his feet in a cast to force them to move when he took it off. But nothing worked. On the second day, he decided to go and see the wisest woman in the village, but she couldn't help him either. And so he spent the third day wandering through the forest, sad that he might never dance again. Suddenly, he felt something wet on his feet. He looked down and saw that it was mud, but as he struggled to pull his feet out of it, he realized that they were moving on their own. He wiggled his toes and jumped up and down, then took a step forward, then another and another. And before he knew it, he was dancing again. When Musa returned to the village, everyone was shocked to see that he could dance again. "How did you do it?" his father asked. "I don't know," he replied. "My feet just started moving on their own." From that day on, Musa continued to dance, knowing that his feet would stop moving every 10 years for 3 days, but also knowing that he would always be able to dance again as long as he never stopped trying. And that's the end of his story. Now, if you want to hear another amazing story about a powerful dancer, click the video that's on your screen now. And as a thank you for watching my stories, here's one of my personal mottos that I hope will help you on your journey through life. Never give up on what makes you unique.